Hey everyone, welcome out to episode 148 of a Nerd Named Mark podcast. It's been a couple weeks. I've been busy and working on other stuff. If you could see the video, I'm watching video on YouTube. As you can see, I've changed some things behind me. Started putting my NECA Toonie Terrors up on the display. Trying to organize a little bit more. Now that work was picking up pretty much consistently all month. Now that it's getting closer to July, things will wind down a bit. I've also been working on wave 2 of my merch and working on some other content for the Fourth Wall members, which is they're going to be getting some exclusive content over there. So if you haven't already, go check out onlyhenshins.com, because through Fourth Wall, when not only can I sell my merch, but they also have like a Patreon style members option where I can actually post polls, sneak previews. It's basically a Patreon completely, but instead of tiers, I'm just doing one tier. I don't like the idea of having so many different ones. Like maybe down the road, if it gets bigger and there's more stuff that I could do in a timely manner, I can think about different tiers. But for right now, I'm like one tier, just to show support and then also get you guys exclusive content, sneak peeks, and discounts on the merch. I did the math. Signing up for 1 month will basically, the discount that you get from signing up is more than the price of the membership. So it's kind of like, okay, sign up for this, and then the discount you get, you're basically saving that money already on your first purchase. And I was like, that is great. I love Fourth Wall so much for that. Speaking of, Wave 2 will be dropping in July. I don't have a date yet. I know it'll be after the 4th of July. I ordered some samples. I'm waiting for those to get here. When they do, I will be doing a sneak preview video and going over everything on Fourth Wall on the members side of things. And then with that, once I see how the samples came out, if they came out good, I'm going to end up announcing the date of everything. If you haven't already, I put a teaser trailer out on Twitter, which I cannot put on YouTube because I'll get a claim on it because of some of them sound effects being used in it, and I'm like, that's stupid. Like, I worked really hard on that. I liked it. But yeah, so that's basically what's been going on, why everything's been kind of slowed down a bit, why I haven't been pumping out a lot of content like I normally do. Like not even normal, like a lot of content. When you think about it, I was like, okay, I had King O's review, Kamen Rider review, the podcast, and then my toy videos, candy toy videos. That's 4 videos a week. That's not bad, but with the way work's been and all my side projects and everything else I'm working on, I'm like, all right, I can't really, I have to kind of delay some content here and there. Also doesn't help, Diablo 4 came out, so I've been no-lifing Diablo 4, that's the main topic of this podcast is Diablo 4, but before I get into Diablo 4, I gotta go over the usual stuff, like video games. Diablo 4, there we go. Alright, so comics, I gotta go pick up my comics. I haven't gone in like 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks since the last podcast episode, honestly. But I plan on going over a full video about this. I went to Target and I always see these DC McFarlane Toys page punchers, if you could see on for those watching on YouTube. And they had a Blue Beetle one that had graduation day 1 of 6. So it's like you get like a little 2.5 2-inch figure and a comic book, and I'm like, and they put it in the toy aisle, and I was like, this is genius marketing. And so with Blue Beetle coming out, like for a while I saw like, the Flash with Flashpoint, and they had Batman, and they had a Superman one, and it makes sense having Flash with Flashpoint, and they had the Black Adam one, which honestly, like, I may go pick one up because I think they're all on clearance because there's so many and no one's buying the Black Adam ones, but they're $10. And mind you, DC Comics, I believe, are at the $4 to $5, like the $3.99 or $4.99 price point. So you're basically spending double the money for a little tiny figure. But I like the idea that these are in the toy aisle because you're going to see a kid who sees the Flash trailer. All of a sudden, they see a little Flash figure. They see a Flashpoint comic. They're like, oh, man, I get a toy and a comic. If this was a thing when I was a kid, it might have been. I just don't remember because that was a long time ago. That was over 30 years ago. Now, if this was a thing back then, this would have got me into comics like crazy. So this is the smartest marketing DC has done for their comics, is working with McFarlane Toys, having freaking little figures with the comics. But I'm going to do a whole video about that because I just think that is genius. And because Blue Beetle's coming out, and I think Graduation Day is one of the best Blue Beetle runs. So, boom, I had to pick this up. It was worth it, honestly. Like, it really was. And I guess because it's been a while. Sorry, I'm trying to reach. Made a purchase. And I talked about it in my free comic book day hauls, where I got, you know, the Radiant Black issue 10 Blacklight edition, right? Okay, so I went over to the Black Market Narrative, which is the shop where you can get all Massiverse stuff, and I was like, you know what? I need the same one for volume issue 24. So I got the Blacklight edition of issue 24 of Radiant Black, but for it to work, I had to get the keychain. I had to get the little Blacklight keychain. Like, you can't really tell in the video because I have lights on, but I was like, yeah, this is a necessity. And if they do another one, I'll get it. I know as of right now, I believe the Inferno Girl Red Book 1 trade came out, which I need to pick up a copy of that because even though I have the 3 individual ones, I do get all the trades. I still need to get Rogue Sun Volume 2 as well, and then I have every trade. It's just time. Time is always the issue, you know. Never have enough to go do anything. Like yesterday, we had a little bit of time, so we went out, and I finally picked up my Shin Kamen Rider model kit from Gunzo out here in San Diego. I love that shop. If you're ever in San Diego, well, if you're coming out for Comic-Con, dude, go to Old Town, go to Gunzo, get yourself some Gunpla kits. The store is amazing. I love going there. That's where I got all my SDW Hero kits. I've gotten a majority of my Digimon ones there, a majority of my Kamen Rider ones as well. You know, which you could kind of see behind me on the shelves, which I need to clean and organize more. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do about my shelf situation because I'm running out of room for manga, even though I haven't really been buying any. And it's not that I'm winding down on manga. It's just that I am trying to catch up on my reading. I always try and keep the percentage of volumes read to not read, where it's like at least I'm 85% read. And I use, you know, I've done a video, LibIB, and check Google. I keep track of what I have and what I've read, and I was slowly becoming into like the 60% read, and I'm like, that's too many. Like, I need to, like, so I've been focusing more on catching up on reading. You know, I finally read all of the rest of Call of the Night that I have. Finally caught up on Jujutsu Kaisen up to volume 13 read, and finishing on some other ones. And I'm just like, no, I want to make sure I'm just caught up. It was why, like, I haven't had time either to do any reviews for manga. So I'm planning some things. I may, because I've been saying for a couple months now, I want to start streaming again on YouTube. I want to do some lives because I've done a few model kit builds, and they were a lot of fun to do, and nano block ones, and, you know, people just coming in chat and talking. So I think I'm going to start doing that again. I'm already thinking of 2 different ones. Maybe like a Saturday where, you know, I talk about where I built some model kits because I have a lot of backlog, build some model kits, talk about, like, you know, Toku and robots and mechas, and then maybe doing one Monday or Tuesday where I kind of use that as a way to, like, bulk talk about the manga I'm reading, and then I could also split those up into individual videos for those volumes and make it a lot easier than, okay, reading the volume, recording the video, then, well, that's rendering, record another video, and then vice versa, where it's like I can have them all right there, download the whole stream, cut it up into pieces, and throw it up onto YouTube. I feel like that would be the easier process. So I'm thinking that's what I might do just to save time and convenience. Plus, I I like interacting and talking about stuff. And it's very one sided. Like when I do this, it's just me talking. And I have been actually contemplating over the last couple of weeks, like, what if I just turn the ANNM podcast into a live stream and then make it a VOD and then rip the audio and put it up onto all the audio platforms. And I'm like, that could work too, but I don't know. I'm toying around a lot of things. As a content creator, if you've been following the podcast for more than a year now, it's actually almost 4 years this July. I take breaks. I probably take 2 months worth of breaks a year. Sometimes longer while I restructure things, but I would say there's been an evolution with the podcast where if you go back, you listen to the first episode back in 2019, right before San Diego Comic-Con, like, it's totally different than it was now, and going into the space of making this a live podcast makes sense with how everything's going. And just the time thing, it's more or less a time thing. So I'm already talking, I'm recording this. Then when I'm done recording this, I have to edit, render, upload. And there's just a convenience to going live, hitting the button, going live, and then just waiting till I'm done, being live. And then, okay, it automatically goes in the podcast category on YouTube, rip the audio, and then add the audio version intros and outros to it, which are on the live version or on the video version, and then upload it. Like, so much time would be saved. So I have to think of time management, because at the end of the day, like I said, this stuff, content creating, podcast, hobby, I just enjoy doing it. The merch stuff, would I like the merch to get bigger and have more sales than I already have, which is a great amount of sales? Yes. But do I see it as okay, this is a career? Probably not, honestly. Like, I would have to make way too much for it to even entertain the idea of me not working, like my job, and doing this instead. So it's one of the things where, I just want it to be fun. Like, the reason why I picked Fourth Wall for the merch is because I like the idea that I can put content up there for members, but also, print on demand, for shirts where I don't have to get here and buy a press and all this other stuff. It's like, I'm working, I get designs every 3 months. I'll drop a new wave of 2 to 3 designs, maybe 4 designs, depending on how much I can, whether I commission or get stuff actually done myself, and go from there. Whereas, the reason why I started doing all this is because I like Toku so much, and a lot of the merch that's officially licensed and available, I don't really enjoy, because I think it's very basic and bare bones for $30 to $40, and I'm like, that should be like $18 to $20. There's no way this should be $30, Whereas, making my own merch, that's more distinguishable and different and creative and unique, and slapping a $25 price on it, and I'm like, that's more appealing to me. $30 hoodie, $35 hoodie, that's not bad compared to the $40 to $60 ones, which have a logo and that's it. And I'm like, this isn't even artwork, it's just a logo. It's a PNG file. Nothing ripped from the poster. It's not really anything that, yes, I bought and stuff before, but now I'm just like, no. There's so many of us that are creating Toku merch that are killing it in the game right now that it's like, all right, this is more that's why I started this. And I've got a lot more stuff coming. I have merch planned up until fall, October. The Halloween stuff's gonna be insane though, and the Christmas stuff. But right now, I'm working on the summer line and some horror mashups, because I love horror, obviously. But that's coming down the pipeline. So yeah, that's it for what I'm doing, with that stuff. But toys. So Box Lunch was doing this cool little thing where they do the buy one get one half off, or all clearance like half off, not the buy one get one. I wish it was the buy one get one, but it would have came out to the same price anyways. They were doing half off all clearance, so I got freaking some nice Jujutsu Kaisen figure art minis. Yeah, I got Megumi and Yuji. So they're regularly $36. Got those bad boys for $17.99 each. I can't complain because I like figure art minis. As you know, I have most of the Demon Slayer ones. I have all the Ultraman ones. And I'm going to start doing the Jujutsu Kaisen ones to go on the same shelf with the manga. I thought that was really cool. Then, Five Below. Okay, Five Below has an anime and manga section now. Did you know that? Like, it's crazy. So, I got some acrylic stands for Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan. As you know, these things are usually like $12 to freaking $18, depending on what store you go to. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. These were $3 each. So I got nice little Demon Slayer Inosuke. I got the Attack on Titan one. And I got the Demon Slayer with everybody on it. Because why not? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, for freaking like $3 each. Like, this is it'd be stupid not to get them. And I was just shocked because I was like, dude, like, these things are usually like, and the funny thing is, like, I bought those at Five Below, and then when I was at Box Lunch, I was just like, I saw like a few of the same exact ones, and they had $12.95 stickers on them, and I'm like, dude, I just got these for like $3, like right over there, and I was like, well, I win, like, that's a good deal. So, and lastly, because I was, I started putting my Toonie Terrors up on display over here. Let's take a quick little gander. I gotta put more up, because obviously I have finished Wave 7. So we have Guliana. This is the last one that my wife found and got me. I guess it's from like a horror coloring book. Never heard of Guliana before, so I was like, oh, that's cool. Interesting, I guess. And other than Guliana, I also got Scott Howard from Teen Wolf. I mean, obviously, who doesn't like Teen Wolf, the original Teen Wolf? I mean, I don't mind the Teen Wolf TV show. Obviously, I did enjoy the Teen Wolf like show that MTV did. Did not enjoy that movie they put out earlier this year. Not a fan. And then we also got from They Live, a male alien. Love They Live so much. I was so happy. I was like, oh, we're getting into like the good horror now. Even though like all these are good. These are like the iconic ones. We got, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, we got Hellraiser, we got the Miner from My Bloody Valentine, which was a pleasant surprise. We got Leatherface, Nosferatu, Freddy Krueger, like all that good stuff. But getting into like They Live, Teen Wolf, like, and then the best, my favorite movie. That's right, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. We got Shorty with the popcorn plant monsters. And then we got the 2-pack of Slim and Chubby. They get like, look at that. That's so good. They got the little cotton candy cocoon in there. Like, and the pie, and the little ray gun. I was like, NECA, you're doing amazing. And then I just saw that they have some other ones coming out. We're getting another Elvira, where she's laying on the couch. And I was like, okay. Y'all know how I feel about Elvira. Alright. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to get that when it comes out. And they did some other announcements I haven't, looked into yet. I just saw that one. I was like, yeah, I can't wait for that. But I don't think that's coming out until, like, there's no new ones coming out until August. I know there's some more coming out in October as well. I just forgot the list for Wave 8. But the fact that right now I'm caught up, the only thing I'm missing is the Loot Crate Edition Leatherface. I have, the regular Nun is opened up there, but I have the glow-in-the-dark Chase still in the package. I actually have 2 of them. I sold one for money, and the other one I kept. I'm keeping that in the box. I'm going to try at some point this summer to get my hands on the Leatherface face Loot Crate Edition one. It's pretty pricey. Honestly, I've seen some go for like 60, but a majority of the people are trying to sell it for like 115 minimum, and I'm like, damn, that is so expensive. But at the same time, my collection's not complete, and until it's complete, there's a part of me that's missing. There's a part of me in my soul, deep down inside, that just knows it's not there. I don't have it, you know. So I gotta get it. Yeah. So yeah, that's it kind of for like figures and stuff. Like I haven't, not too crazy, and this is like everything over the last like month. I been kind of like, in the summer I usually slow down a lot of my buying and my spending, just because I don't know, like a lot of games are coming out. Like I'm playing Diablo 4 right now, and then later on this week Final Fantasy 16 is coming out. And I wasn't even going to play Final Fantasy 16. I wasn't going to buy it. Not the game looks amazing. I played the demo, which is what sold me on it. It's just I don't like action RPGs. I like Diablo style ones are fine, but I like more turn-based stuff, which is why I still play things like, you know, Octopath Traveler 2, or you know, things, and I like strategy ones like Triangle Strategy or Disgaea, and or, you know, I'll go back and play like a lot of the NAS America, Idea Factory, like, you know, turn-based ones. And I'm not a fan of RPGs like that style. Like, it's one of the things that kind of annoyed me with 7 Remake, but I got used to it and I enjoyed it. It's one of the ones that I didn't really care for with 15, but like I said, I'm biased. Like, I still played it and platinumed it, but 16, I played the demo, and then I was like, shit, I'm gonna end up buying this game, aren't I? Because this is freaking good. So, okay, Final Fantasy 16 coming up. We got so many games. Like, I'm still playing through the Mega Man collection, Battle Network collection on the Switch, which is like 10 freaking games. I'm only like 2 games in right now. I've still got the Advance Wars Remake 1 and 2 for the Switch, where I'm almost done with Advance Wars 1's campaign, and then I gotta play 2. You know, there's so many games coming out, and we got AEW Fight Forever next week, which, you know, it's gonna be on Game Pass, right? So I was like, all right, it's Game Pass, I can play it. But then at the same time, I'm like, I kind of want the PS5, so I pre-ordered that for the PS5. So yeah, a lot of games, and this is where like my and I still gotta get my comic books, but like from a toy and like figure standpoint, this is when things slow down for me. From like new releases. But if I do, you know, go to like Book Off, or we go to like swap meets or thrifting and this and that, if I find something, like, I'll get it, obviously. But I'm not actively looking at new release stuff and getting for the time being. So, you know, it'll be a couple months of me saving some extra money by not buying figures and stuff like that, and I'm buying video games, which, you know, isn't really any different. But yeah, that's it for the collection stuff going on. I guess we gotta talk about Diablo 4, because goddamn, this game is so good. Okay, now I know if you go on the internet and you look at things like a lot of people who like apparently now don't like Diablo 3. A lot of people who are Diablo 2 purists are like, Diablo 3 is trash, and now they're like playing Diablo 4, but they still think Diablo 2 is the best. I'm 37 years old. I remember Diablo, okay? I remember Diablo 2. Diablo 2 is amazing. I picked up the version when they re-released it on the Switch and every other console, and me and my friend Andrew were playing through them, and like, listen, love Diablo 2, okay? I think late 90s, early 2000s, like, Blizzard was like my go-to. That was the only thing I was really playing, was when outside of Counter-Strike, was StarCraft, Warcraft 2 Battle.net Edition, Diablo 2, you know? Those were like, I think, and Command and Conquer, Red Alert. Like, I liked RTSs, and I liked games like Diablo, but I was really big into RTSs. I still am. I still love RTSs. Like, I'm craving like the next like original RTS, because StarCraft 2 is great, but like I need like Warcraft 3. Let me tell you, Warcraft 3 from when it came out for about like 4 years. That's like my life. I was doing those ladders on Saturday, even like to the point where I purposely didn't go to work on Saturday so I could play in the ladder that they used to do on the weekends. Like me and friends just playing it. Like it was just, it was insane. That's what we did. And you know, I I think, you know, Diablo 4. I don't think I've no when Diablo 3 came out. I love Diablo 3, by you. Like I do. I genuinely do. Like, and I'm not a diehard who knows like the lore and all like the little minute like gameplay stuff and this and that. Like, I just like playing these games. I'm a casual who just so happens to put hundreds of hours into these games. I still consider myself a casual from a fan base standpoint because I don't memorize the lore. I don't memorize iframe. I don't memorize any of that stuff. It's just like, okay, like I'm not going into builds and like micro detail, being like, all right, if I switch this with that 1 extra %, it's gonna do this. No, I'm just like, I like just destroying everything. I just want to be powerful in the game and destroy. So Diablo 4 drops, and I'm like, you know what? I could wait. I'm not gonna pick it up like day one. I played the beta, and I was like, okay, you know, this is a lot of fun. This looks amazing on the PS5. So I had to buy in the freaking digital deluxe edition so I could get it 4 days early. So I've had it for almost 2 weeks now. I think it's been out for 2 weeks. And I have no life the shit out of this game. When I say I no life it, I mean literally I've been going to work, coming home, turning on the PlayStation, playing Diablo, eating, and then going to sleep, waking up, go to work. My wife's just like all the time. She's like, "So you're just gonna play Diablo?" And I'm like, "Well, we can watch a movie." So I bring the that's why the PS5's over here on my other monitor, because then I'm just like, and I can see the TV, living room TV. I'm like, "Yeah, we're watching a movie." Yeah, no, definitely. That's a good movie. It's like it's paused. I'm like, "Oh shit, caught me." Like, but I'm joking. I'm still spending time with my wife. Like, I'm not gonna like no life completely. But yeah. Oh, fun fact. Extraction 2 dropped on Netflix. That movie was insane. Like, all right, so I've seen the first one like multiple times because I thought it was just amazing. And my wife saw the trailer for the second one, and I was like, we should watch the first one. She's like, you could just tell me about it. We could just watch it. No, we have to watch the first one. So we watched the first one. Mind you, I have to get up at like 6 a.m. the next morning for work. And so we watched the first one. It's done. It's around 9:30ish. And she's like, that was so good. That was insane. I'm like, yeah, let's watch the second one. She's like, really? It's like 9:30. Like, you want to watch? Like, we have work in the morning. I'm like, yeah. I had work. It was her day off the next day. I'm like, no, let's watch it. Watch the second one. That movie, like Chris Hemsworth. Okay, my biggest issue with the Extraction films are they're on Netflix only. Like, can you imagine us sitting down, going to theater, IMAX, Dolby Atmos, surround sound, and watching Extraction 2? That would have been an experience. And my thing is, I get that these streaming services have to have, exclusives. But there's some films on there that like should be in theaters, You know what I mean? That's just my gripe with it. But it was such a good film. It was so good. I have another episode planned to go over some stuff, which I just hinted at about physical media and streaming services, which is for a conversation for another time, obviously. But back to Diablo. So, yeah, I've been basically no-lifing it. I'm playing as Necromancer. Just because I liked Necromancer in 3. I had a lot of fun with a lot of minion builds. It's weird because I feel like I'm in the minority of Necromance players in my friends group anyways that don't use minions at all. But this game is just so visually appealing. It's like the cutscenes are like Blizzard definitely put money into this, and I'm excited to see what season 1 is gonna be like in July. I finished the story. Right now I'm still world tier 3. I'm only, even though I've been no lifing it, I've spent so much money re-specking and like changing my skill points and working on my build and this and that that I haven't really uh progressed much more outside of like clearing all the side missions now, trying to clear the level 70 capstone so I can unlock world tier 4, which hopefully happens this week at some point. I'm really hopeful I can do that this week. I just gotta, find time and focus because, this is my last real overly busy work week, and then, you know, coast for a bit and have some free time and try and work on content, which is why I'm like, okay, PlayStation is off right now. I actually unhooked it from the monitor because I have both monitors so I can record, and I'm just sitting there like, man, I could hook it up. I can just get, a couple minutes in, maybe just one dungeon, one nightmare dungeon, please, because it was like the cause. Like, that's also, like, outside of working a lot, Diablo 4 is also why a lot of my content's been delayed. Let's be realistic here. It's not just because of work. It's Diablo, honestly. It really is. We could blame Diablo for that. We can blame Blizzard for the content delays. It happens. I was gonna stream it, honestly. I was thinking about it. But the other games I want to stream, like I'm gonna do some AEW streaming. I'm gonna do some W2K23 streaming. Definitely gonna be streaming some Common Order games. That's a thing I'm working on, but we'll talk about that another time. Uh, but Diablo 4, it's a lot of fun. I don't. This isn't really a review because I don't want to review it. I just wanted to talk about how much I'm enjoying it, and I'm planning on. I already started my second character, which was a sorcerer. Just because I was like, I want to try like a character where I skip the story because I already played the story, and I just want to like try every character. I know eventually I will have one of every class leveled up, like I did with 3, and yeah, I want to play it. I want to play it now, but I'm like, no, I got other videos I got to record. I'm behind on Toku stuff. Uh, and yeah. And with all these other games coming out, it's like, I feel like there's like that, like, doomsday clock going. It's like, okay, Mark, it's Tuesday, and you know what? Like, fun fact, I'm recording on Tuesday. I don't know what day this is going to go live. It might go live Wednesday or Thursday. I'm not sure yet. And it's like, it's Tuesday, so are you going to, you're gonna finish Diablo. You're gonna level up more than that because Final Fantasy 16 is coming out in a couple days, and I'm like, shit. And like, also next week AEW Fight Forever. I'm like, son of a. I was like, I don't have time to do all this. But Diablo, because like I stopped playing Octopath Traveler 2, and I stopped playing Marvel Midnight Suns and Spider-Man on the PS5 because I never played on the PS5. I played on the PS4 like when it came out, and I was like, and I never played Miles Morales, so I was playing that on the PS5 since recently, since the last episode. And then I was playing Octopath Traveler 2 at the same time, like going back for like a couple chapters in Octopath Traveler 2, go clear some more of the map in Spider-Man, could progress the story a little bit more, jump back over. So, and then Midnight Suns is still a fun game, which I think is underrated and did not deserve all the negativity it got. So then I'm like, okay, Diablo. And I'm like, what are these other games I was playing? I forgot. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's a stack of games that I have titled not Diablo for. And it's ridiculous, honestly. Like I definitely need to like find balance in my games because there's way too many. And Cassette Beasts, I still gotta finish Cassette Beast. I even though it was on Game Pass and this that, I picked it up on the Switch so I could play it on the go. It's such a great game. I love Cassette Beasts so much. I cannot praise it enough. If you like open world Pokemon style games, like classic Pokemon, not like Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet from a visual standpoint, but if you like that style of games where there's a little Toku inspiration in there as well, like it's so good. It's so much fun. I've been enjoying it so much. Especially on the Switch, I'll just lay down in bed or on the beanbag chair and just freaking play it. And I'm like, yeah, this is good. I like this a lot. But yeah, that's it. Honestly, that's it for the episode. Not much like deep diving. I finally finished all my notes and everything. So next week's episode is diving into the Massiverse Part 3. We're going to go over volume. So with into Massiverse Part 3, we're going to be going over volume 1 of Radiant Red and volume through 3 of volume. Dude, I can't talk today. Dude, I've been talking so much between work and everything else. Okay, so basically it's volume 3 of Radiant Black and volume 1 of Radiant Red. Then, after that, I've already started all the bullet points where I'm going to be going over Cowl, which is now canon into the Massiverse. So that's going to be the special, kind of like I did the special quick video about issue 24. I will be doing a special when 25 comes out, and then also I will be doing the Dead Lucky Volume 1 and Rogue Sun Volume 1. And then we'll talk about the Supermassive 2022 and Supermassive 2023 as one episode combined. My goal is, because Comic-Con's coming up and other conventions like Anime Expo and this and that, my goal is to get a majority of the Massiverse stuff caught up on in the podcast episode, and then I'll be going into just short form videos going over new releases as they come out. So that's my plan by like August. I know that was my original plan by now, but because of work and everything else and taking a couple weeks off, like everything's kind of delayed, and I didn't want to do a Massiverse episode every week, which I could have technically. But I didn't want to do that because there's other stuff in between that I do want to talk about. There is another topic that has been requested of me, which I'm not weary to cover it. I think, it was requested of me because I am knowledgeable on comics. And indie comics and mainstream comics. I've been collecting, for almost 31 years now. And I know I have a lot of friends and a lot of people who check out the podcast that have privately requested I talk about a certain company and a certain comic. And, I want to approach it unbiased because that's the only fair way to cover anything, is being unbiased. Like, if I'm doing opinion videos and saying, oh, this is great, I love this is why I like it, these are that's one thing. But when you want to talk about a project and a book and a company and this and that, you have to make sure you're factually correct. And I want it to be a legit look and coverage of it, not, there's two sides to every coin. So you don't want to be negative or like there's the negative side where everyone's bashing it. There's a positive side where people are overhyping it and then going after people who are negative. I want to be neutral and be like, here's the facts, here's this, there's that. Are there glaring issues? Yes. Are there things that work? Yes. Are some people overreacting? 100%. Is there an unfair biasness for this? Yes. That's how I want it. That's how I cover things. That's why, and like one of the things too is like my rule. We know my rule. If I'm reading or watching or anything and I start to not like it, I don't talk about it. I just say I didn't like it, I didn't care for it, and then that's the last I say. I don't make content focusing on negative things. That's not how I want to contribute to the communities I'm a part of or the fandoms. I don't go after other content creators. I don't go after, like, if I, like, the whole Miles Morales thing. The What If. I covered the Thor one because I was curious. And like I said, the Saladin Ahmed run for Miles Morales Spider-Man was good. So I was like, oh, let me check out these Miles Morales What If. Because I was not a fan of Miles Morales in the Ultimate Universe. Ultimate Spider-Man at first. And when he had his Miles Morales Spider-Man run that started up, I checked it out after Into the Spider-Verse. And I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. I actually enjoy this. So yes, the one time I did a negative video, but it wasn't a negative video. It was just because I liked this character and I did not like what was being done to the character. This was bad writing. And I was like, I don't understand why this exists. And yeah, there's an ambulance. Um, but usually I don't like doing negative content. And the video, I'm doing my research, screenshots, due diligence, fact checking like crazy because I want to make sure if I speak on companies and writers and people and this and that I get my shit correct, you know? And I know a lot of people aren't going to like that I'm going to do a video on it, especially when I'm not going to be bashing or being anti. And I'm being very vague right now. I'm not going to say what it is. Those of you watching or listening who are the people who have asked me, yes, that is what I'm going to be doing. That'll be like another week or so. But I'll make jokes, right? And I'll jokingly troll and shit on things like when I say Gaim is mid or build is mid, even though build is good and like that's one of my favorite henshin sequences. You know, that stuff's in jest. Okay. Like I said, I'm never gonna go down the route of like clickbait angry content creating where everything makes me angry. Like, that'd just be stupid. It works for a lot of people, it doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for how I want to create content and for what I want to put out there. Yes, I could easily do that though. Okay? I could easily start another channel right now and just shit on Marvel and DC every day. And, you know, bad anime and, you know, movies and this and that. And listen, there's people who do that and it works for them and that's their content and they are very successful. All right? Kudos. That's there's a demographic for that. There's a demographic for everything. Then there's the people who try and counter it. And instead of countering it, hyping up everything, hyping up what's working, hyping up the good stuff out there, they're going and countering it by just making the same videos those people make, just about the people making the videos. And I'm like, this is stupid. This is like a circle. And I was like, you want more positivity in the community and in your fandoms, make positive videos about the content of the fandom, like of the shows. You know, you want to look at the Star Wars community and everyone's made, like, you go and type in Star Wars, there's more people shitting on Star Wars on YouTube than there are people that are liking it. Here's what you do. Make videos about stuff you like about Star Wars. Not making videos bashing the people making videos about how much they hate Star Wars. That's just like, it's all negative over here. Like, the scales are not balanced, you know? I had to sneeze. Nothing. But yeah, it was a long tangent. That was just something I was thinking about because I had my notes and I was like, oh, hint at this stuff. It literally says hint at research. And I'm like, ugh, don't wanna. But yeah, now I can tell you right now, that video is either going to give me a lot of backlash from fans of that person, or it's going to get me a lot of backlash from anyone who's anti that person, thinking that I'm like, you know, promoting. But I'm like, I'm just covering stuff, okay? Like, and if it's requested of me and it's something that I'm knowledgeable of, because I'm knowledgeable of it completely. So I was like, yeah, I could do that. I told him, I told one of our friends, he's like, yeah, you're gonna cover this, and I'm like, I thought about it the first time around, and they're like, why didn't you? I'm like, because I just didn't have time, and I was working on a lot of other stuff at the time. And then they asked me, hey, about that, and I'm like, so I'm just like, you know what? Like, this time I will. I'm gonna put some research into it. It's not going to be scripted, but I will make sure I have enough research where I'm, you know, don't come across as a bumbling idiot that doesn't know what they're talking about, you know? But that's it. That's it for episode 148 of an Name Mark podcast. So many episodes. We're almost at 150. This is ridiculous. And I'm shocked, honestly. If you haven't already and you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Comment below. Let me know what comics you picked up. Let me know what games you're playing. What toys did you pick up? Because that's like the main thing, is usually games, comics, toys, anime, toku. Like, let me know what you picked up, what you're playing, what you're watching. Okay? If you're listening at whatever your platform is, hopefully you're subscribed on there or following on there. I'm trying to push for Spotify follows. I got a good amount in the last month and a half. Even though it's available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Podbean, Pod Republic. Like, basically, if it's a podcast listening platform, it's there. Even iHeartRadio. I always try to tell everyone, if you can and you have the apps already, if you could pick Spotify or iHeartRadio, one of those two, that would greatly appreciate it. I get more in-depth analytics from those two platforms than any other platforms. So it kind of helps me gauge when people stop listening, where the peak listenership starts to like fall off, so I can modify and mold the podcast and see what sections people don't care for, because that's how I grow. It's like, okay, what isn't working for the listenership? What aren't they enjoying? Is it the long outros? Is it too long of an off-topic intro? Is it lack of like really like coherent like segments in it? So I always try to use analytics to see, and I spend a lot of time like researching like my own show to see what's working, what's not from a listenership standpoint. So if you are, and you can listen on iHeartRadio or Spotify, preferably Spotify more, because I get really good analytic like breakdown of the analytics on it, but iHeartRadio is good as well. But if you don't want to use those and you're on Apple Podcasts, please leave me a review on there, because anytime you leave a review, it helps with the algorithm and puts it so like my podcast is more easily discoverable, so you don't have to type in the long ass under name Mark podcast to find it. But that's it. I thank you guys for listening, and I thank you guys for watching. This has been episode 148 of Under Name Mark podcast. My name is Mark. I have an Eevee t-shirt, Evolution t-shirt, because I still play Pokemon Unite, and I'm a nerd.